And we're live to talk about an episode that actually wasn't that bad. I don't imagine.
Deathwatch.
Yes, Deathwatch, not Deathwatch, Deathwatch. What did you think of it, Jeff, on your Deathwatch? What did you think of the episode?
Aren't you going to tell the viewers what happened first?
Okay. Right. Let's have a look what the book says.
You know how I am. I'm very guardian. I have to do things by tradition.
Okay, here we go. Two planets, Teal and Vandor, are in a state of perpetual hostility and have pioneered...
Teal and purple.
Yes. Are in a state of perpetual hostility and have pioneered a unique way of settling battles. A man from each side in single combat. The Liberator crew head there to observe one such encounter. Tarrant finds that his twin brother Deeta is on Teal. Well, he's not his twin brother in the script, but in terms of the actual production, then you're going to have to say yes, twin.
Didn't they say he was the older brother?
Yeah, he's like 7 years older.
Yeah.
And they actually put little grey bits in his hair as well. Here we go. Finds that his twin brother Deeta is on Teal, and as their first champion, is about to take on Vandor's ruthless fighter, Vinni.
Yo, Vinny from Brooklyn.
Yeah, it sounds like the most ruthless fight.
Hi, Rachel.
Hey, Ben.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi. We are now recording, which is great because you'll make a great thumbnail. Although we're going to make this the thumbnail, this guy's hair here. So, much as I would like to make you the thumbnail, it's going to be this guy because of the barnet.
What's the subject?
The subject is talking about an episode of Blake 7 that actually wasn't that bad. And just basically having a bit of a laugh as well.
Alright, cool.
It was pretty bad.
Oh, come on, Jeff. You're cutting me. You cut my heart.
I'm sorry. Well, okay, if you want to say it wasn't as bad as the previous one, then yeah, that's true, probably. And it definitely wasn't as bad as some other ones previous to that. So, it's the least bad of the last 3 episodes.
I think Morgan liked it-ish. Does he have
And he
anything to
said
say about that? Oh.
I think I actually liked it better than he did, slightly. And I still didn't really like it that much. But
It was a whole lot of boring stuff to the build-up of one moment that was, at the actual moment it happened, was kind of cool, and then everything else was boring and trash again.
yeah,
But you should probably say what happened so I can continue.
he did.
What you did?
He gave like the abbreviated version.
Oh, the abbreviated version's all you need to?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, so the part where he actually shoots the guy, Vinny, shooting
Yeah.
the other guy.
Yeah.
The script, the new Tarrant that I didn't care about either. Yeah, that part was fun, because he had his hands up and there was like a bang and they shot him. But then everything else was boring.
Yeah, it was kind of more talk than action, and the talk really wasn't that interesting.
Servalan,
Like there was a couple of funny parts. Like I liked the like TV announcer guy who was kind of pissy about like he and the director were like arguing about stuff. Like that was funnier. I mean, that was like more fun than most of the episodes because like little things like that were cool. Like in the very beginning with the Bizarro Tarrant and the chick, like, and the dude tries to kill him and then she tries to kill him or whatever. Like that was like, I'm like, there was more to that, and then it was like when they actually went back to the Liberator that it was like, oh, these people again. That kind of so like, it was like they started by introducing better characters and then they killed off the most of them.
Yeah, they killed off Vinny.
As usual, like they kill off the more interesting characters so that you're stuck with the people that aren't.
As long as Bizarro Tarrant had like his hair burned off or something, he could have replaced the other Tarrant.
Yeah, see, that's what they should have done. Maybe like they don't realize it's a different Tarrant because they're pretty much the same, and then suddenly it's like, you know what? You seem to be like making better decisions than the old Tarrant.
And you don't
And he's just
jump in
like,
rooms with your chest wide open.
I'm affected by the death of my brother. That's what it was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, at least there'd be some mystery and suspense.
But then, like, yeah, but Vinny was the coolest character of the episode, which is kind of sad.
I like that part where he was like, you can't get past me. No, you can't. No, no, no. It's like, what? It's like they're fourth graders or something. He's the elementary school android.
He's just silly.
I know you are, but what am I?
Ridiculous. But yet he's not completely like unrealistic. Like he's not insanely ridiculous. He's not like druggy ridiculous. He's just kind of a weirdo.
Not like that guy. Wait for it. Who made a weapon where you put a target on somebody and then you kill them later.
That's a fantastic weapon. I love that weapon.
I know, that's why I brought it up again. We were talking about it earlier.
So stupid.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, if you did that in Homicide, how would they know it was you who killed them? Because you could kill them later
I know,
on.
you asked me at the time. I'm like, well, you can't. Because, Homicide's set in reality.
Yeah, that weapon was stupid. Because especially using it in that way where it's like, oh, I marked you, and I'm in the same room as you, threatening you with the fact that I marked it. Like, if you have an actual gun, then you can just shoot the thing in their hand that actually kills you, because you're not dead when they shot you the first time. So if you just, shot the weapon, then you'd be good. With your actual gun that can actually shoot and kill things.
Well, I mean,
Anyway,
the fact that
that
they're
was a previous
stupid
episode.
is
Well,
that's a
that's
separate
the
issue from
fact.
how cool the weapon is.
Yeah, so this episode was actually better than that episode, but,
For the most part, it was boring and unnecessary. The weird dots on their head didn't matter at all.
like,
Oh, I thought
again,
you'd like that.
Servalan,
Convoluted
like-
plots to go some random place.
followed by the episode where she, goes across the galaxy to find a non-existent fleet. In this one, she's like, I somehow made myself an impartial judge of this thing so I could create this scenario where an android defeats someone. They're found out to be an android, and so the two forces fight each other more in real battle, so she can somehow take advantage of this somehow. It's like,
Yes.
it's almost as convoluted as that.
It's not
Morgan was
perfectly.
watching this the thing, honest trailer for Batman versus Superman, and it has Lex Luthor's plan on the screen scrolling up, and it's 15 pages long.
It's perfectly simple. You get each side to fight each other, and then you mop up afterwards.
I liked that much better when it was called. Dang it, what was it called? The Doctor Who story. It was the third Doctor story. It had the where the Master was organizing it so the two races were fighting each other. Draconians and somebody else. I can't remember who the other.
Oh, yes, it was Draconians and actually Earth, wasn't it, in Day of the Daleks?
Yeah, but it wasn't Day of the
Something else.
Daleks. It was a different one. It was.
Yes,
but
you're
it was
right. It is a different one.
Yeah, it was right before Planet of the Daleks. It kind of led into that one.
Yes, Frontier in Space.
Frontier, so that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was.
Oh, you Doctor Who geeks.
That was better, even though it had one of the worst cliffhangers ever. I forget which part of it, but there was a cliffhanger where it was the Master was using these guys called Ogrons, and one of the cliffhangers was the back of an Ogron flying a ship.
But Jack, some of your key Doctor Who people were involved in the making of Blake 7.
I know.
Whoa.
So some respect
Story
should
of Doctor
flow.
Who ever had a pretty. The plunger's coming to get you.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
That was terrible.
So, what did you both think of the slow motion gun battle?
It was cool again in that exact moment that he actually shot him.
Yeah.
Then it just was ridiculous. Then it just looked stupid how they kept going.
So, what did you think of the idea of the green dots, where the audience can actually experience what the two gunfighters are feeling in that moment.
It was stupid.
I think that it was kind of odd, actually, because if they were going to do that, I expected them to have sort of like a visual representation of it. And I was actually expecting that to be bad. And then they just didn't do it. So it was kind of weird. It was like, we're going to have the thing, but they're just going to talk about it, sort of.
But you can sort of do
actually
it.
Sort of like that better. I was just surprised by it.
Yeah, you could just sort of like have you just cut to the. If you've got a good enough actor or actress, you can see the reaction on their face, and that's what you saw.
Yeah, I didn't really get the point of that, though.
Yeah, it was unnecessary.
Well,
Like,
it was.
I mean, what?
Well, what about all the fact that you got all these? I mean, you got Morgan playing computer games to see what it's like to try and shoot people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying the concept itself is any problem. I'm just saying I didn't get why they sort of made a big deal of it and then didn't make a big deal of it.
Talking about episode-wise, it didn't make sense to be in the episode.
Yeah, it just was weird the way they did it in the episode.
It was just like tacked
Like
on.
it's not, you know, the concept itself wasn't weird, and that I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's a little thing like, oh yeah, we have this thing. This is the future. Then like whatever. But they were like, oh, we're gonna use this to stop them. But it was like, it only vaguely eventually led to them somehow. Yet it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, it was like the key thing was
they say weird stuff they felt in their head, and then Orak somehow oracles what rule they're breaking via their vague descriptions of what they felt. And he obviously has precise accuracy because plot.
Yeah, it was a little bit silly because it's like, well, you know, obviously we've talked enough about, you know, typological stereotypes that we could say, well, it might not have been an android, it might have just been an INTJ.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think, he wasn't an INTJ, but now that I think about it.
Well, because their evidence for it not being human was that he wasn't, like, feeling anything. Like, he didn't have, like, human instinct, was basically what they said.
I know. We could use that as an in-joke in future. Oh, he seems to be a bit of an android.
Well, I mean, you know. Yeah, well, I mean...
Yeah, that would have been a good, like, for the outtake version for Avon to just turn and be like, well, it could just be an INTJ.
What I was gonna say was they actually didn't ever actually have any evidence that he was an android.
Right.
They just...
because they never did the medical examination.
They just vaporized the guy.
They find out later, whoops, it wasn't.
Really
well, I mean, Orak.
I mean, Orak has screwed them before, but they were just like taking his word on it.
There's that entire episode where the whole thing was just like Orak takes him to some place where he feels like exploring it.
Yeah, that was the first episode of season 2. There was a whole subtext that Orak was behind it.
And that was garbage.
I like that one. Rachel, you get a real SN divide in these episodes. The SN divide really comes out. And it's like, what they think is weird, I think is cool.
Did you see, Ben, did you see Celebach's video of why ISTPs should not watch Twin Peaks?
Yes, it was absolutely fantastic, showing the difference. And it's so much like that, Rachel. And it's like a spot-on example of what any polar or any vulnerable means. Is basically, they don't like weird. They don't like anything that's actually good and interesting.
See, well, okay, have you watched the next Homicide yet?
No, I just watched that terrible one that made me cry about the doll's eye.
Okay, yeah, I really think, and I'm not trying to overhype it, but I really think you'll enjoy the next one, because of all, I don't necessarily all of Homicide episodes this the most, but it's definitely one that I think would appeal across that NS divide more than a lot of other Homicides.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's, but yet I still like it, so it doesn't like break that where I'm like, oh, this is too weird for me. It still makes sense because, you know. Anyway, I won't spoil it, but like I think you'll enjoy it.
I want more Munch in the show, and I want more. Munch
good.
Going on
The next one has more Munch, I promise.
Oh, lots more Munch.
Yes, you will definitely get plenty of Munch in the next episode.
In fact, Munch should have a storyline in every episode. To keep the Munch.
I would be fine with that, as long as it made sense in the plot, not just Munch just like wanders on, you know. Like he's already there at every crime scene. Hey, what's up, everybody?
There's just a laugh track.
Instead, they just have the unrealistic thing where they eventually have, for for like a season and a half the same medical examiners at every crime scene, which doesn't happen in real life. But anyway, well, I guess if it's a real small town, maybe not in Baltimore.
Oh, talking about coincidences, how about everywhere Jessica Fletcher went, there was a murder?
Yeah. There's a lot of jokes about that. It's like, you know, the inspector that always shows up at the crime, you know, like, and Agatha Christie, you know, made fun of that herself with the unexpected guest by making the investigator the actual murderer. Sorry to spoil that for anybody who's never seen or read Unexpected Guest. I just ruined the ending, but you know.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Well, sorry.
Razor blades, reaching for the razor blades.
I was in the stage version when I was in high school. I got to play the character Jan. And
right. So what I'll do now is I'll read through the entry of Deathwatch. Won't be showing it on screen.
Oh, you don't have the pictures of this?
Oh, no, because what happens is I just put it on screen and I'm going, have you read it? Yeah, Jeff, have you read it? Have you read it? What do you think of that bit?
Yeah, that is kind of
if I just read it out, I'll get your live reaction.
It is nice to be able to see at the same time, though. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, you know. Deathwatch. Writer, Chris Boucher. Director, Gerald Blake. Do you know him from Doctor Who, Gerald Blake?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I didn't recognize the name, but...
Well, apparently that slow motion shot, that does actually come from a famous Western. I just don't know what it is. It'll probably be in this liberal book, this left-wing book, Liberation. Let's see what it says. Right. Alright, what we got here? Let's see. Deathwatch. Alright, so this is the writer's, this is his personal favourite script that he wrote for Blake 7. What we got here? Deathwatch.
Why do you call it left-wing book? Is it like everything is like, okay, this episode demonstrates how capitalism is evil? I mean, what?
I mean, there are some like that. I mean, it's like one entry was like, this shows all the racism and all this kind of, and all it's like, then you see the other books that have written at the back, and it's like, oh god, and like, they super read into things that are not there.
Well, you know, that's not necessarily a left-wing thing.
Yeah, well, okay, I should have said NFE. NFE, sometimes left-wing book. Yeah, but what they actually do, though, is when they actually do have sexist episodes, like ones written by Ben Steed, is they try to, like, turn the world upside down to say, like, it's a satire of it or something.
Maybe it is.
Well, you've seen Moloch, and I've seen the other one. It's a very cleverly disguised one, if it is. I don't see him.
I mean, the whole thing. I told Morgan the other day that, you know, to me the best ending of this season of Blake 7 would be, you know, if the whole thing's been a dream.
Ooh.
Because like nothing really has changed since the first episode of this season for the actual characters that were in the previous season. So it's kind of like.
Now I cannot say anything to the defense of that.
Yeah, I know you can't.
I can't. Except watch the next episode.
Well, I will.
Right. Thank you very much.
So I tell you about Homicide.
See, this is what it's like, Rachel. I've got to cope with a couple of SPs here. The SN divide. I've got to cope manfully with all this stuff. Now, what we got here is, yes, what we got? Did they actually say what film it is? Let's have a look. It says here, Westerns, for example, you get things like, this says The Magnificent Seven, Once Upon a Time in the West, but it doesn't actually name the actual sequence it comes from. The Book Has Let Me Down. Right, but lots of TV directors do things like that. They'll take particular shots from films and go to the trouble of like lining it up exactly and then saying on commentary that they reproduced a shot from a famous film. You heard that, Jeff, on certain commentaries.
Sure, probably.
Right, okay, so now we go. Opening shot. The Teal star in space with some radio chatter between it and Teal Control. Unlike the same scene in Star 1, it doesn't degenerate into a big spaceship crash. The next shot is a smashing one of Teal Star set with a lovely matte painted ceiling. You just described the story. Vinny. Deeta Tarrant is dead! Hope that hasn't gone and spoiled the episode for you.
Yeah, and I said what it really should be on Just Describe the Episode is number 3, wait. Because that appeared on the screen, you know, whenever they were organizing the battle.
Oh, okay. Random insult.
There was more waiting than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, if I was behind it, I would have had a much longer action sequence between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, even the Matrix scenes from The Deadly Assassin had better.
That was good. You didn't like that.
I didn't, but it wasn't like terrible. It just, to me, the stuff that actually took place on the Gallifrey set was more interesting. So I just wish they hadn't spent so much time with it.
Oh, I thought it was all very ingenious, resourceful.
It seemed like they were trying to cram an action movie into a thing that was not that, and it just made it weird.
Well, it might have been that they had so much film sequence, and they were able to do, because, you know, in those days, because film was expensive, they only allowed them to have like 5 or 6 minutes of film for every 20. So what they did is they put it all in one episode.
Yeah, I would have just not had it at all myself, but you know, my tastes are not necessarily the same as other people's. But yeah, I usually think video looks better than film.
Well, I think video looks good now, but in those days, I changed my views. I used to be a pro video person in those days. Anyhow, random insult. Villa, referring to Aurak. Couldn't you redesign him as something useful, like a drinks dispenser? Or an empty space? I think it'd look really good as an empty space.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
In a nutshell, duel, but not that one. Right. Story, 2 planet. Oh, I read that out before. Information. The one thing Blake 7 has never been able to do convincingly is stars. The ones outside the Teal Star window look like the VT operator splashed salad cream on his machine. Deeta's wig is awful. We go back to the wig. There we go. Stephen Pacey in a syrup.
Syrup?
Syrup of figs. Wig. It's Cockney rhyming slang. Syrup of figs.
Okay.
There we go. S syrup. Right. Right then. What have we got here? Deeta's wig is awful. It's good they found an actor who looks so much like Stephen Pacey, though. So much. When Carla, he plays Tarrant. When Carla and Stuart Fell go to assassinate Deeta.
That even Stacy would be the other actor.
Pardon? You think it would be, you think that's what it should have been listed as on the credits?
Yeah, Stephen Pacey, so I said the other actor's name is Peven Stacy.
Yes, that would have been clever if they'd have put that on the credits.
Yeah. It's been done before, I know, rearranging the letters.
Yeah, I know, they did it. And we won't go too much into that, Jeff, because of spoilers.
Yeah, I won't spoil that. Yeah.
When Carla and Stuart Fell go to assassinate Deeta, Fell's character takes his Vandor identification card with him. We're not entirely sure why this is sensible, given that it's an assassination attempt. Do you reckon Paul Darrow was annoyed that Stephen Pacey got the Western gunfighter routine in this story twice? Yeah,
because he got to kiss Servalan again for no reason.
Actually, yeah, he did quite like Jackie, as he called her.
So I'm sure that satisfied him.
Yep. Yep. He did like westerns. Paul Darrow.
No reason. I'm guessing that she's just into that, and she just tells the writers, "Hey, have me making out with more guys. I'm not making out with enough guys."
Oh yeah, she's like that. I mean, she became a nude model. Like when she was...
you know how the nude models are.
Yeah, but when she was like over 50 or something, and like in the middle of nowhere in Cornwall, and she actually had
So she
psychiatric
just
problems.
wandered out to Cornwall and took her clothes off and said, "Hey, somebody take a picture of me."
No, it's like to paint, and it's like, you know, NFJ.
That was just perfect the way you described that. Like she was over 50 and she just went out to Cornwall and said, "Hey, I'm a nude model now."
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much how it went.
Some git in the countryside was like, "Yeah, take some pictures of you, lady."
But when we finish the series, I'll show you the interview where she talks about, and then
Okay.
at the end, she actually shows you like a male prostitute and says, "Oh, I share him with somebody else."
I look forward to those interviews because I've never seen any interviews that I know of about Blake Seven stuff, so it'll all be new to me.
I mean,
It's great to finally hear from the guy who played Gan about his amazing turn as big guy who gets killed.
It's nice spoiler for Rachel there, Jeff. Way to go.
What? She saw episodes after that, so
Maybe.
I know
Okay.
she saw the one.
It's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah, she saw the one with like the Viking King dude, and that was so much more fun than this. You know, that's why I'm like, even if they can get back to that level of good in this.
Is that the one that had a lot of Jenna in it?
Yeah, where she was like, you know, see that there was a reason for her to like be cozy and up to the king.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Avon was just like, I'm just gonna make out with Servalan because I can. See, that's one of my points. You can juxtapose like there was a purpose to Jenna being like all over the king, whereas the other one it was just
Yeah,
let's just have the scene for no reason.
And Avon knew that he couldn't kill her there because of all the rules.
Yeah. So I mean that episode was fun. It had the the clever if slightly predictable thing of having the secret buried in the but you have to say the code word and all that. So I mean that was better.
Right.
See, I'm trying I'm not trying not to tear your heart again, Ben, by thinking of good things in previous episodes.
Anyway, so in 2 episodes' time, a character arrives that Jeff will be very happy with, and he's seen her before.
Okay. Well. Anyway, I think this episode I will be generous and give it a 5, even though it probably doesn't quite deserve that. But
okay, I'll just read a bit more out, and then we can stop and go to the next one.
But the good parts that were in it, I'll bring it up to that.
Okay. What about the standard dialogue, though?
Yeah, it did have some good dialogue. Like I said, I liked the TV announcer guy.
Yeah.
The little behind the scenes part that was kind of funny, and Villa had some good lines, and there was some coolness to it.
So even though you call him squirrely, do you think he generally has good lines?
Generally, no, but sometimes yes.
Okay.
I'd say about 29.8% of the time.
Okay. Both Deeta and Carla wear costumes the same colour as the Teal Star set. None are teal coloured. We see the Liberator crew have their tea in this episode, but Avon doesn't have anything because he doesn't need to eat because he's so hard.
All right.
I've written LOL on there. The commentator's name is David. It's probably really David, but you know how these mistakes on birth certificates can stick.
Mm-hmm.
A frosted glass of red is the preferred tipple for serious relaxation, although the entire Liberator bar's on display here. That will keep Villa occupied for half an hour. Space, the final frontier. That needs no introduction. Come to think of it, it is an introduction.
Yep. That's why we made the joke while we were watching it that they were just going to watch a Star Trek episode. They sit back and watch Captain Kirk.
And this bit is simpatico with Jeff. This one's taking far too long to get going. 20 minutes in and nobody so much as raised a voice. It's horribly underwritten.
Yeah, I mean, other than that first scene with the girl that does a bad job of killing him. But of course, if she had killed him, it would have kind of messed up the rest of the episode. she should have been the champion.
Right.
And then like younger Tarrant's got the blood feud on her because she killed his brother, and then you're like, you know, you add all this like that's what soap operas do. They just ramp up the like weird things like that, so that by the time you know you think about it, you're like, I don't even remember why we're here, and it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's my commentary on that.
So we got Villa chases Callie across the flight deck. There really is nothing going on of consequence. Worse yet,
I forgot Callie existed.
Yeah. Worse yet, there's a TV news presenter informing us of the fact every few minutes.
I hope that in the future, in our real future, that the news footage is better than it was in this projection of the future.
Yep.
Of course, this is not our planet; it's some other planet. So maybe their news people are just really scrubbish.
Well, we already are in the future from the point of view of the people who made the program.
Right. Yeah.
About 36 years ago. This particular season.
We're already a little more advanced than the future of the planet.
I tell you what, though, I think Morgan would use those green discs to like people actually out shooting people, and then he can experience it.
Yeah, we were talking about like virtual reality stuff the other day. Like I said, I would even settle for something that just showed the appearance of characters. Like you wouldn't even have to like actually feel like you were in the environment. I mean, that would be better, obviously. But like, to me, it would even be if you could just have something that like you put on and like you saw everybody in like their in character costume or whatever. Like that would add like an element to like role playing games and stuff.
Do you think the Ron Jeremy disc would sell well?
If someone was role playing that, then sure. Not exactly what I was talking about, but that's fine, man. Take it wherever your imagination will take you.
Right. 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 The Vizcast shows several remarkable locations where the Teal-Vandor conflict might play out. In deep space, around huge rock formations, amid beautiful tropical islands, the one that we actually get is a knackered old building within 5 miles of the production office.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was saying is that, like, whereas Doctor Who took a flack for having, like, every alien planet be a quarry, in Blake 7, like, every place is some abandoned warehouse.
Industrial place.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. We bet that a full health and safety risk assessment wasn't carried out on that dangerous-looking battleground. You might fall over and cut your knee on a bit of glass or anything. It would
make sure they get a full medical examination.
It would have been much cooler had this been an Avon story and not a Tarrant story, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying. Or if they were going to have one of the like newcomer characters, at least make it Dana. So they even point out in the episode how she would be like she has the more natural instincts for that sort of thing. So
yeah,
like it would have been better to have her be giving her something to do finally.
Oh, before I get to it, what did you think of the actor's performance of Deeta Tarrant? Stephen Pacey.
Well, he seemed more believable in that character than he does in the original one. Like we already talked about the ways that he seems to go against the type of character they want him to be. And it was like when they give him the opportunity to play this other guy who's the older, wiser version or whatever, he seemed like he fit better.
Yeah.
That's why I say should have just, had him survive and kill off the other brother.
I mean, the actor has said himself in interviews that he's a bit of a big Jesse, that he's not really tough enough in real life.
Well, I mean, like I said, he did a better job of being the tougher guy in this one than playing original Tarrant.
Right.
Forgetting their first name. Del.
Yeah, so Rachel's reactions there to the phrase "big Jessie." So it's a bit of a big girl's blouse, I suppose. A big Jessie is a big girl's blouse. Yes, I deliberately used an expression that was just as obscure as the first one as my explanation. But yes, someone who's slightly fey and not exactly macho. So right, here we go. Right, okay. Two great moments from this episode. Villa sitting drinking cocktails on the Liberator flight deck with a happy smile on his face, and the Vizcaster going all Alan Partridge when he finishes his piece. Yeah, that was the bit you liked, Jeff, when the the guy complaining to David complaining to the director. Yeah. Pacey is brilliant too, playing Deeta with an odd calmness, so you don't think it's the same person as Del. Probably the best episode
of the goofy smirks on his face. So that made it better.
So do you think that Del Tarrant is just a badly written ESTP?
It could be, yeah. Is this one of those characters where, again, the problem is like when characters are sort of created to be plot devices instead of characters that get developed, then they tend to not be very well written in terms of they just sort of do what the plot needs them to do rather than being consistent. And that's something I can say why when Morgan said that he liked shows that had like good character development, why I recommended Homicide, because I feel like that the characters are believable all throughout. Even if I don't necessarily like what they did with a character, it still wasn't where I was like, oh, well, that doesn't seem like, it seems like totally out of character, or it seems like the writers are changing this character into something else. I don't really think that happened.
Right.
Maybe a little with Bayless, but I mean, you can write that off to be like a Guardian midlife crisis or something.
Yeah. So we've got here. I think the next episode's very good. Probably the best episode of the season. We're contrary old bastards. I actually like the final episode more. Right. Zen. Ooh. What? Oh my gosh! I am so glad I never read that out. That is a massive spoiler. My god!
You'll write that one down too, and then you'll finally pay off these spoilers at some point. And tell me.
Well, that one pays off next week. Next episode.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that. What rating do you give this one, Ben?
Oh, wait a minute! I've got another page left for stuff to read out. I'll give it about. I like this one. I'll give it about an 8 or a 9. I like it. I love all that stuff with the green dots.
I like the effect. The effect looked cool. For that 70s TV effects, like that was actually pretty good looking.
And you like this bit, closing shot, Avon and Tarrant in unison saying their communicators, bring us up, Callie. Mm-hmm. You know, when they found out he was the new champion. Right, now we've got delightful dialogue. Aurak. Should I do Aurak's voice, Jeff?
Sure, go for it.
I am now picking up a public Vizcast transmission. Put it on the main screen. I must point out that this is a gross misuse and an absurd waste of my capabilities. Put it on the main screen. I will do it only under protest. You can do it any way you like, just so long as you put it on the main screen. As ever, Dana, gaudy but effective. Then you've got amateur hour. Check out the shot through Aurak at Avon at 41 minutes 44 seconds. There's a huge swathe of studio wall visible above the set in the background because they shot it from below through the Aurak prop. The voice of the Teal Star captain is clearly Stuart Bevan. The funny effect on Deeta's eyes only really works on one eye. Additional scraps of knowledge. Planets, Teal, Vandor. Spacisms, Vizcasts, Sensornet. Best foot in mouth of the series. Villa, referring to Servalan. Her idea of chivalry is never to shoot a blind man in the back. Cue Dana blubbing. Tarrant mitigation techniques. You're on your own this time, there's 2 of them. Deeta doesn't seem too fond of his brother. That makes him okay in our book. Right then.
So, another effect thing, you listed a couple.
when the, I guess, reporter guy, the like news dude or whatever, when he was like nearing the end of his spiel about whatever, when he was in front of the door, boom mic went into the shot.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever mentioned that.
I think that possibly was deliberate. I'm not sure.
Well,
I
no,
was saying, if it's
because
a TV broadcast, then
like that's what I thought at first, right? That's what I was thinking. Because at first I pointed out, and I was like, whatever. But then he brings these drones along. They're recording the whole post.
Yeah, I mean,
have a separate
usually when they're
microphone.
doing it deliberately, they do it more than what they did because they only did it a tiny amount. Plus, on the televisions at the time, they used to like overscan, so most people never actually saw the whole picture because it would always like go over the edge. You know the way a lot of televisions were, you never saw the whole screen. And
Yeah, I
it's only
remember
when,
actually a DVD feature on the Aztecs on Doctor Who
Yeah.
where they talk about how when they made the DVD version, like because they showed the whole screen, you could see where the edge of the set cut off. And so when they did the remastering, they actually digitally extended the set wall so that it went to the edge.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of these things in Blake 7 where you do see the mic come into frame, people might not have actually seen that when they watched it on their cathode ray tube TVs at the time.
Plus people weren't, didn't have the ability to pause and everything, just watching it live TV, smaller TV, and blink and you missed it. So.
Yep. So I think that's probably it, apart from buy the book, folks. And this book comes with a special feature. It has no page numbers on it at all.
What's the book called again?
Maximum Power. And I recommend it to anyone who likes Blake 7. It's a funny book, and it has some episodes in that
people who don't like Blake.
Yes. Yes,
because it rips on stuff. So
yes.
If you don't like Blake 7 and want something to trash it, then there you go.
Yeah. I recommend it to anyone who has watched Blake 7. How about that? Anyone who's watched it.
Anyone who stayed awake for Blake 7.
So you have two chances with Blake 7, folk. If you like an episode, good, and if you don't like it, read the book. You'll probably have something in there that will make you laugh.
Yeah.
So, flipping it, it's getting hot here. I think that we might as well wind up now, and then we could have a chat with Rachel. So it's bye from me.
Bye.